New vehicles only. See dealer for details.
The best in local sports talk from the 256. We are local.
When you're number one, you don't have to worry.
We are award-winning. Thank you for listening. 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
You'll be set for life.
3, 2, 1. Joe Hunk, John Abraham, Bailey Lowery, 256-576-4977. This is the Morning Blitz.
Hello and welcome into a treacherous Tuesday here in No Man's Land. John Abraham, Cam Cool alongside Joe Hunk and the Bandy Man Bailey Lowery, taking your calls all day long for at least 2 hours straight. But there's somebody always in the studio, so feel free to call in whenever you get the chance. 256-576-4977 is the number to get in on this programming. And if you're not a guy who likes to use the phone, you're a little bit scared of it, that's totally understandable. Go onto your computer, find us over on WZZN TV, and start utilizing that chat box today. You're able to communicate with us, and we all get to see them. So if you throw something obscene in there, our faces at the same time are all just going to go, what? That's just how it's going to be. Did you see that? Did you see that? And as always, this show is presented by the wonderful people over at Fleming Roofing and Restoration, the guys you need to talk to about all of your roofing needs. If you're having any roofing problems, make sure you look them up online at FlemingHSV.com to fill out your free quote today. And remember that Fleming always shows up. Guys, looking forward to the weekend. We're going to have a lot of high school football. Bandy, if you want, you can even play that one little spot that I added to the StreamYard. It's there. Just throw that up on the stream, and we'll start running down some of these games that everybody's going to be looking forward to.
Oh, hi. Look at those. Those things looking sweet.
I know. That's what I'm saying. You're going to get Buckhorn versus Southside Gadsden. So I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to be real with you guys. What do you know about Southside Gadsden? Because I don't know too much.
You never want to go there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, really? All right.
And it's in Gadsden.
All right. Well, I've
south
heard,
side of it.
I've heard interesting things about Gadsden, but it's like
Nothing
Gadsden,
ever goes well at any south side of any place.
Very true.
I've heard plenty of good things about Gadsden City. I've never heard anything about Southside Gadsden, but they've got a really cool logo. I found it yesterday. I threw it up on the thing. So Duckhorn's going to be playing up against that squad.
Duckhorn?
Duckhorn. Buckhorn's going to be playing against. That was actually really good. This isn't the duck up in
I do sound effects for my kids, so I've kind of perfected a lot of them.
So you're like what's his name from the police academy?
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Except that it doesn't always sound as good as that.
I got you.
Yes.
I got you. You also you can look forward to
it's called being a parent.
Madison Academy versus New Hope. That's going to be on Zone 2. You get Randolph on a bye. So don't worry about Randolph. They're going to kind of take it easy this week. And then they're going to come back and destroy. And I know Bandy's going to look forward to a nice little week where he thinks he's going to have off, but you ain't going to have off.
I'll be in Birmingham, so.
He does. He's working in Birmingham this weekend.
What are you doing in Birmingham?
He's working for Sanford.
Yeah, volleyball staff.
He's working Sanford. He's that guy that's going to be sitting there going 7, 4, 3, over, 2, 1, kill, 3, 7, 12. Dude, I'm telling you, it amazes me every single week. Every single week I do a game and I sit there and I'm going, there's no way on earth I could focus on this.
No, I'm telling you, I'm very ADHD. So it's like the perfect job for me. It never loses my attention.
That's like the whole point of this show. It's just like three guys with a lot of ADHD and some ADD. I think I have more ADD than anything else, but you guys are you're the ADHD ones. Not just you guys said it. I didn't say it. Either way, you also get Sparkman versus James Clemens. This one's going to be in Harvest on Zone 4. It's another one of those big matchups that you want to watch, you want to listen to. I'm going to be honest with you. It's going to be a tough one, but at the end of the day, looking for Sparkman to kind of rebound after that matchup last week against Bob Jones.
Okay. There is one play that happened.
One?
There was a bunch of plays that happened, okay? Sparkman was in full control of this game. It was one of those where we were looking at, John and I are looking at each other going, oh, this is about to be a sweet win.
It was like Virginia Tech going up against Miami. It was like California going up against Miami. That's how it felt with Sparkman on the beginning of this game.
Malachi Foster, I'm going to give the wide receiver for Bob Jones. He's not even the one that has all the amazing offers right now from like Division I schools. Like he's not even that one. Sparkman makes a tackle. As the running back is falling down, he fumbles the football. And in the most perfect, most beautiful, most amazing bounce that you will ever see.
It hit the ground.
It hits the ground, bounces right up, and Malachi Foster grabs it in the air without breaking stride and scores a touchdown. I believe it's the WAFF play of the week, high school football-wise. It was amazing.
Man.
It was one of those where John and I looked at each other and went, did that seriously just happen?
Yeah.
I have never seen that happen in any sort of football game, high school, little league, baseball, basketball, whatever. Nothing that beautiful has ever happened. It was a beautiful thing.
It makes sense that it came from Bob Jones. I mean, it had to come from the Bob Jones-Sparkman game because both of these teams have really fast offenses, and it happened so fast that we couldn't really comprehend what was going down on the field. But this is rule number 86, why I do not like turf fields. The bounce is always going to be a little bit different. And that time, it was perfect. It was almost like a 12th player for that Bob Jones Patriots team.
Once we get the highlight together and add our audio and all that sort of stuff, we will post this so that you can see what we're talking about because it was stunningly beautiful.
Yeah, I don't think I said a word. I think I was just like, what?
Because Spartman was firmly in control. Bob Jones kept getting 3 and out. Spartman kept scoring. Like, we're just like, this is about to be a rout.
Yeah.
Nope.
We would have loved it to be that way.
That one play changed the entire game.
Yeah. Mentality and a lot of momentum. That's exactly what happened in that one. But look forward to James Clemens and Sparkman. It's going to be a great matchup. Another one that's kind of similar to that Bob Jones game where it's some of the top teams in that region. On top of that, Westminster's back this week, and they're playing up against Madison County on Zone 5. You also get Huntsville back. They're facing off against Albertville. Huntsville, this is a get ready game. All right. This is a get better, get back on the field, go back to the basics and just get a big win against an Albertville Aggies team that has not found too much success. But as of late,
they found none.
But as of
they
late,
have a 0 in their in the win column.
They have been scoring more points. So this
That's
is what's intriguing about it. Their offense is starting to roll a little bit better. On top of that, you'll also get the game of the week. I wish we could add some echo to that. As Grissom
game of the week
is going to be playing up against Florence, and I have no idea where Grissom's at right now.
They're right ahead of Albertville.
Okay, but they're playing up against the Florence team that is pretty freaking.
That is
good.
right ahead of Spartman.
Yeah, they're pretty freaking good.
Yeah, they're pretty good.
Yeah, there's a nice little drop off, I would say, somewhere within that region. It's
right after Huntsville.
Yeah, it's pretty intriguing. But outside of that, guys, we also got some football last night. I know that Joe wants to talk a little bit about it because it's really focused on his Chiefs.
Look, it was first off, full disclosure, I fell asleep halfway through the game. Okay.
I do not blame you.
I fell asleep during it, but I woke up this morning and I woke up early and I was able to watch the remainder of it before I knew what the score and everything was. I don't care what anybody ever says about somebody like Patrick Mahomes. Go back, fourth quarter, 3rd and 8. Mahomes has like 15 seconds in the pocket. Then when he still can't find a guy, he then scrambles for the first down. It was a beautiful play that will not get as much love as it probably deserves.
It wasn't sexy whatsoever.
But it was amazing to see a guy be able to stay in the pocket, stay upright, be able to maneuver around and get there. Yes.
This guy.
There's only one thing that's upright about the Cleveland Browns quarterback.
Hey,
it's the thing it shouldn't be.
Don't be taking any shots at the Cleveland Browns. Now, I will say, Deshaun Watson, that is right there. That's free real estate. You can jump in on that. Just keep
it really is low hanging fruit at this point.
I'm not going to get upset with you on that because I'm right
wrong?
there with you. Yesterday, Patrick Mahomes, he looked like the solid quarterback he's been. Honestly, this team without guys, like Rice, you lose some of those attractive dudes, all right? That Rashee Rice and Xavier Worthy combination was just absolutely brutal.
They went with a 14 set. They went with a 14. They had 4 tight ends on the field at one time.
You get rid of Rice. Obviously, he's out for the season. That stinks. Joe, I feel bad for your fantasy team. But you bring out guys like
fantasy team is just a hospital.
You bring out guys like Gray. You bring out guys like Kelsey. And I'm looking at my fantasy team. The only guy I had to go up against was Kelsey. And of course, the Chiefs had to go on and have a tight end type of football game where they literally just kept passing it to the tight ends. I did end up winning. Kramer, I feel bad. This was your first loss of the season, though. I'm up in the standings. I've won 3 straight after losing 2 in a row. All right, I'm feeling better about it. We got a lot of fantasy conversation to get into, but I'm going to be honest with you. This Saints team has a very much little talent to work with.
Well, and if Derek Carr, depending on what the injury is, if Derek Carr is going to be out for a certain period of time, that's really going to hurt them because Raheed Shaheed, the touchdown that he scored, the pass that Carr made to him, that was absolutely stunning.
Yeah. Not a lot of quarterbacks could make that one.
There were a few touchdowns this week, especially in the NFL, where the play itself was absolutely gorgeous.
What the hell's Bandy doing over there?
I don't know.
Bandy, don't do it.
Boys.
Don't do it, Bandy.
We got some breaking news.
Oh,
wait, did another Georgia player get arrested after the one that just got arrested?
Oh, I thought he was hitting the transfer portal.
No, but I would not be surprised. It stays in the NFL, but the Jets have fired head coach Robert Saleh.
Whoa.
They have fired him, per Adam Schefter. He is gone.
Whoa. Holy cow.
Huge breaking news.
Just last year, this man had a hard knocks on him.
Wow, no, that's legit. See, I was afraid that it may have been something that was just absolutely. So they're wanting to blame Saleh for this. Are you sure?
And not a 50% playing on one leg Aaron Rodgers.
Take it easy. Come on.
Okay.
Look, he was literally crawling on the sideline. He can't handle it.
Needed a chug.
He retired for a year. Well, he didn't really retire for a year. He was injured for a year. Then went to
the Bills forced him into retirement for a year.
Yeah, they forced him to retirement for a year. He went to the door to darkness, went into a darkness chamber for a week, came out and then said, I want to play for the Jets. And just look what's been going on since then. He has not been anywhere near how he's been in the
7
past.
touchdown passes so far, 4 interceptions that he has thrown. Now, he does have a 61% completion percentage in this, but Breece Hall so far this year is not even getting over 40 yards a carry on a game. And when you look at your wide receivers and the yardage that your wide receivers have, Garrett Wilson doesn't even have 300 yards yet. You're 5 games into the season. Alan Lazard only has 240 so far. Yeah. You don't have this talent that you are hoping to get. But at the same time, you're the reason for this.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think anybody in America, even Jets fans, are going to sit back and go, yeah, Robert Saleh was the problem. Robert Saleh is the reason why we lost to the San Francisco 49ers while they were fully healthy.
Yeah.
You lost to the Minnesota Vikings, who are undefeated, and somehow Sam Darnold has forgot that he's Sam Darnold. And then you've also lost to the Denver Broncos, who people don't realize has one of the top 3 defenses in the NFL right now.
Defense.
So that's the reason. And you should have lost to Tennessee, but Will Levis decided that he wanted to be an idiot. So you actually should be 1-4 right now, and none of this is because of Saleh.
Well, here's the thing. He's 20-36 all-time with the Jets for a reason, all right? He had to rock with a guy named Zach Wilson for a majority of his time at this team. I mean, it really has been set up for failure. And then they finally get a little bit of light at the end of the tunnel in the form of Aaron Rodgers. But the thing is, Aaron Rodgers was also very deep in that tunnel in a totally different scene altogether.
Look,
so obviously he comes back into the NFL. He's doing good at times. It depends on the way these routes are being ran. He's not going to chuck it down the field. He needs a quick amount of time to get the ball out. And he's starting to make that work finally with Tyler Conklin, the tight end that you never thought would actually be one of the number 1 targets, but that's what it's turning out to be.
Look, right now during this young season, I know that they're only 5 games into this, okay? But you have only this New England or this New York Jets defense has only given up 400 yards one time, and that was to the 49ers, first game of the season.
Good 49ers.
Okay.
Yeah.
In the win against the Titans, this defense gave up exactly 300 yards, which I don't even know what the average is. One of you can look this up as far as what's the average yardage of yards given up per football game.
Okay.
But 300 yards is amazing. They win that game against the Titans, and their 2 losses, the one to the Vikings are 2 of their 3 losses, one to the Vikings, one to the Broncos. Against the Vikings, the defense only gave up 253 yards of total offense. The Broncos only had 186 yards of total offense, and they still lost both of those games because their offense only put up 17 points and 9 points. Now, against the Broncos, it was a pouring down.
Terrible
like it was the remnants of Helene. It was ugly. But then against the New England Patriots, who again was a win, the defense only gave up 139 yards of total offense by the New England Patriots. And that game you scored 27. Don't sit and tell me that Saleh's the issue when Saleh came in to improve this defense, and this is one of the best defenses in the NFL.
Yeah.
This to me is an offensive issue.
Yeah, I'm a little bit questioning this decision, but I'm going to look at it and get a little bit deeper on the conversation, and we'll definitely be figuring that out throughout the storyline, throughout the show, and all that good stuff. But we do need to hop into a break. We got a lot of football stories coming up. Of course, we're going to hop into a little bit of college football, but on top of that, it's mainly going to be an NFL day. So if you guys want to hop in as well, you can. 256-5764-977 is the number to get in here on the Morning Blitz.
Hi, this is Wes Neighbors. I'm here with Sam Fleming with Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Sam, tell the folks about Fleming Roofing and Restoration.
Hey, Wes. Our company, Fleming Roofing and Restoration, specializes in commercial and residential roofing and repairs. I'm a fifth-generation Huntsvillian, and our family's been doing construction business in Huntsville area since 1965.
Sam, what kind of roofs does Fleming Roofing and Restoration do?
Our guys are skilled enough. We can come out and address any kind of leaks or issues you might have on your commercial, on your metal roofing, on your shingles. We can do anything, and we can offer you a solution to repair it, or we can replace it.
Well, you guys also do insurance restoration.
Our staff has 10 plus years of experience as insurance adjusters, and we really do know the inside and out of the claims process at Fleming Roofing and Restoration.
Check out Fleming Roofing and Restoration online at FlemingHSV.com, or you can call or text them at 256-651-9440.
Hey, Wes, we show up.
Tom Abraham here for my friend Mike Owen at Owen Home Appliance Center. Are those new school clothes wearing out that old washer and dryer? Well, it's time to get off the bus at Owen Home Appliance Center and learn what a new Speed Queen washer can do for you. They're in stock and are ready for delivery now. At Owen Home Appliance Center, quality products, quality pricing, quality service. It's right there in the name, Owen Home Appliance Center. 2 locations to serve you, Highway 36 in Somerville and the interactive location at Highway 231 in Lacey Springs, just 8 miles south of the river.
Embark on a flavorful journey at the Brewers Cooperative, located within the vibrant community hub of Stovehouse in Huntsville. Their brewery isn't just about crafting exceptional beers. It's a destination where culinary delights and local brews harmonize. Whether you're seeking a laid-back lunch or a lively dinner with friends, their diverse menu has something to please every palate. And with a commitment to quality and a passion for innovation, they invite you to savor the unique flavor of Huntsville's craft beer scene at the Brewers Cooperative.
Chapman Commercial Realty, your source for Alabama commercial real estate. Chapman Commercial Realty has the experience and expertise you're looking for when making commercial real estate decisions. If it's office space, retail space, investment property, or project development, Chapman Commercial Realty is your answer. Call Bill Chapman today at 256-656-8413. That's 256-656-8413. Or find them online at chapmancommercialrealty.com.
Listen to the Bama Recap Show, presented by Lawler's Barbecue.
The tackle, Williams, 2 catches, 2 touchdowns, 2 electric early
on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Who running?
Not Robert Saleh. Not anymore.
This is a gift to Robert Saleh. This is an absolute gift.
Get the hell out of New York.
This is a blessing to Robert Saleh.
It doesn't have to be in disguise either. It's just a blessing.
No, it's a blessing.
Get out of there.
You do not have to deal with Aaron Rodgers crap anymore.
I will say Aaron Rodgers is going to end up being the coach. I mean, I don't know who's going to be second in command, but I know that it's going to be like a LeBron James situation. If he doesn't have a coach, then LeBron James is going to be the coach. Aaron Rodgers is going to be the coach of this New York Jets team, even though he's still going to be playing on the field. And I got to admit, I'm not here for it, okay? Because we were just talking a little bit more about it. The defense has absolutely been stout. Of course, Robert Saleh came over from San Francisco as the defensive coordinator. Joe, you were looking into all of the stuff that he's been able to do. And this defense is one of the best in the league. But it really comes down to that offensive side of the ball. And why is it such a struggle to get the ball down the field, to do anything, to have a brand new, a lot of these new offenses that we see, Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, all of these teams, they're very quick, all right? They've got, quarterbacks that can run the ball, they can throw the ball, all of that stuff. That's something Aaron Rodgers has not been able to do for quite some time now. And it has really made this offense struggle. Even though he can pass the ball on a dime whenever he wants, it still has just not worked for the Jets. And that's just not the way to go moving forward in the NFL. So Robert Saleh, condolences, but you're going to be fine, bro.
Dude, this is a blessing for him because Robert Saleh, defensive head coach that came in from the San Francisco 49ers, he helped the 49ers get to the Super Bowl in 2019 with that defense. And this defense for the Jets is one of the top 2 defenses in the NFL. The only team that's better than them is the New York, or I should say the Tennessee Titans. Jets have only allowed 255.8 yards a game on their defensive side, where the Titans are only allowing 243. The Jets are only allowing 17 points a game. It's the 6th best in the NFL. This defense is not the issue. He is a defensive guy that has come in, and the defense itself is sound. And this is, again, without their defensive tackle that is still sitting out. He's still sitting out, and this defense is still this good. Yet on the offensive side, that's not his job. You know what his problem is? And here's the issue. Aaron Rodgers was forced down his throat. Okay. You're Aaron Rodgers. Oh, I want to go to the Jets. Him and Robert Saleh don't get along. I understand why they wouldn't get along. Who wants to get along with Aaron Rodgers? Like nobody. No, you don't.
Put your hand out.
Kind of do.
Sit your hand out.
So he's a fun dude.
No, he's not. He's dumb. And so nobody wants to get along with him. He's like Adam Sandler, and he got his boys around him. Guys, one of the offensive coordinators for the New York Jets is Nathaniel Hackett, who is an idiot when it comes to the offense. There's a reason he is no longer in Denver as the head coach. There's a reason for this. You also had Todd Downing. Every single Titans fan that knows anything about the reason why the Titans offense was horrific 2 years ago knows Todd Downing. Like, there's no reason that when Todd Downing got fired or got hired by the Jets, Titans fans laughed about this. They laughed. This was on par with John Robinson from the Titans, thinking that he would, when the Patriots talked about him potentially being the general manager, it was like, oh my God, you're an idiot if you do this. There's no reason. This is not Robert Saleh's issue. This is Aaron Rodgers' issue. The defense is doing their part. Robert Saleh has let Aaron Rodgers do his thing. I promise you, I don't know if it will ever be said. Aaron Rodgers was forced on Robert Saleh. This whole scheme of him coming here was forced on Robert Saleh. Was Zach Wilson the answer? God, no, he's not the answer. No. He's not. But when you have a defensive-minded head coach, the defense being as successful as it was, you shouldn't be doing this. This is a matter of, I guarantee you, those two are button heads in the office. I guarantee it.
Well, here's the thing.
And actually, Ray, real quick, a little follow-up on the defensive side of the ball. Defensive coordinator Jeff Ulbrich has been named the Jets interim head coach for right now.
Yeah, you know why?
So it's going to stay defensive.
Because they know how bad Nathaniel Hackett was as a head coach. And they know that Todd Downing doesn't know god-awful anything about the NFL.
Yeah, that's definitely a smart move by the Jets. Look, and now you guys know everything that's going on with them right now.
On the PFF side of this, the Jets defense on PFF is a top 12 defense, and they're number 8 defense per play. The offense, on the other hand, is ranked 30th in the NFL, and EPA per play is 32nd in the NFL. This is one of the worst offenses in the NFL, and it's not on Saleh. Saleh's job is, as the head coach, is to let the offense do their offensive thing, and he has made this defense what it is.
Well, here's the thing that I look at whenever I'm seeing this offense, and it's not scoring quick at the beginning of games, and on top of that, they're not using their running backs. They have some spectacular backs, okay? Braylon Allen, of course, the new second string that has really just started making a name for himself. On top of that, Breece Hall. You look back on the last game, they got down in the first half, and then you end up seeing good old Aaron Rodgers throw the ball 54 times, completing on 29 of those. When you see the running back room, there's 23 yards by Breece Hall and only 13 from Allen. And altogether, they only had about 15 rushes. And that right there is a huge problem. You can't open up a pass game. You can't complete passes without having a complete run game. And that's why I see this Jets team having so much problems on this offense, because they do have the weapons to run the ball, but they choose not to, and then elect to have to pass it throughout the game because they get behind in the first quarter, as they did against the Vikings across the sea. I feel so bad for Jets fans.
Now, see, what you're telling me is that the Jets are just the NFL version of the Iowa Hawkeyes.
Look, Aaron Rodgers, the last 3 seasons that he has been in the NFL.
No.
Super defensive.
They pass the ball a lot, though.
Super defensive.
The Jets pass
not
the ball.
not a very good offense.
No, the Jets pass the ball.
Yeah, Iowa has.
Is that it?
Iowa hasn't figured out that you can do that in 2024.
They're still playing in 1940s.
Yeah. So, Aaron Rodgers in his last 3 seasons, the last one with Green Bay and this 2 that he's had with the New York Jets, I will give him the win that he got on, even though he only played in 4 games. And the one game that he played of, he is 11-12 right now the last 3 seasons. By the way, does anybody have Green Bay and what their current standings and what their stats are right now? By the way, the Green Bay Packers are 3-2 right now, and those wins, 2 of those were without Jordan Love, and they just got Jordan Love back. And this Green Bay team is in a much better place in 2024 than what they were with Aaron Rodgers. They did lose the Vikings because, again, everybody's lost to the Vikings. They beat the Colts and the Titans without Jordan Love, and they just beat the Rams this past weekend. This Packers team with Josh Jacobs at the running back position, with Kraft, with all the talent that this offense has, is in a much better place without Aaron Rodgers than what they were with Aaron Rodgers and his group of friends that he has to come around and make his movies with, like Adam Sandler.
Yeah, because right now it's been 3-2, third in the NFC North, and they've been their defense hasn't been nearly as good as the Jets. Opponents have been on average about 370 yards against them on average, but they've been getting 400 yards of total offense on average too. Yeah, their offense is incredibly good.
Yeah, and I think you could throw down, I would say 340 is like the average that teams are able to put up, depending on if you're playing against the Browns or not. But it's a different type of Packers team altogether because you still don't have a lot of talent when it comes to the wide receiver position. Of course, Aaron Rodgers made a huge point of that to bring in talent. They don't need a bunch of different wide receivers. They just needed one guy and then a tight end, and you're able to make it work. Of course, we've seen Jaden Reed have a really good season. This has been the first time he's really started to pop off as one of those top-of-the-league type of receivers. And on top of that, Tucker Kraft has been doing a lot as helping out with Jordan Love. Anytime Jordan Love's in, he's looking at that tight end first, and then he's throwing it to Jaden Reed. That's just the type of thing that he's doing. And it works for this Green Bay Packers team because you don't need to get too complicated and try and open up the offense too much, because that gets to the point where you are now with this Jets team where you're trying to throw it to the Garrett Wilsons. You're trying to get it to Lazard. You're trying to get it to Conklin or any of the other tight ends you have on the team because you just want to try and make it work. There's so many different options that it kind of messes this offense up altogether, and it kind of overwhelms, I would say, Aaron Rodgers to the point where he's getting sacked in the backfield, and then he's crawling looking for the closest reboot bus or whatever they call it over in Fortnite. I just know there's a lot of Fortnite memes going around as he was crawling when he needed that chug jug. But either way, I want to know your guys' opinions. What is the problem with this New York Jets team? Do you think it was the coaching, or do you think it is Aaron Rodgers in this offense altogether? 256-5764
97.7
is the number to get in on the programming. When we get back, we're not just running down the New York Jets game. We're running down all of the matchups from Week 5 here on the Morning Blitz.
This is Brent Musburger's VSiN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Check out VSiN's catalog of original podcasts, daily and weekly programming to keep you in the know when you're on the go. Only at VSIN.com. Now, here are the latest lines from my guys in the desert.
Major League Baseball playoffs, all 4 series are now tied at a game apiece after the Tigers beat the Guardians 3-0 on Monday, and the Royals doubled up the Yankees 4-2. On the schedule tonight, it's the Mets and Phillies in Queens. Sean Manaea starts for New York against Aaron Nola, both teams -110 on the money line. In San Diego, the Padres host the Dodgers. Michael King starts for the home team. San Diego -155, the Dodgers +130. Walker Buehler gets the nod. The +350 Yankees, the World Series favorite, with the Dodgers +425. The +350 Yankees, the favorite to win the World Series. The Dodgers and Phillies +425. That's the VSiN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. I'm Chuck Sanders.
By now, you know about Eagle Masonry and Insulation, and maybe you know that Eagle also does landscaping and dirt work. But how about after paint work? Shower doors, shelving, and mirrors, all taken care of by Eagle, the same Eagle that takes care of all your masonry, insulation, and landscaping needs. Eagle brings the same level of expertise to all these disciplines, and they're ready to provide you with a free quote. The website is the same, insulatewitheagle.com, as is the phone number, 256-755-1556. Give them a call and see what Eagle can do for you. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
Hi, folks. Bobby White back again for Woody Anderson Ford, inviting you to come test drive any one of our over 100 F-150s. From rock-solid, dependable work trucks to our state-of-the-art Platinum Series, we've got an F-150 for you. Test drive one today, and you'll understand why the F-150 is the best-selling truck in America, going on 48 years in a row. Just as successful offenses and defenses are built on teamwork, Woody Anderson Ford is powered by our people. Our sales and service teams are well trained to save you time and money. And because we want your business again and again, no one will work harder to earn it. Our mobile service teams come to your home or business for oil changes, brake work, tire rotations, and more. And the great thing is you don't pay extra for it. We come to you with mobile service at no extra charge. Proud to be local, family-owned, and at your service for over 62 years. Woody Anderson Ford, Alabama's F-150 Superstore.
There's power in caring when it is put into action. Each year, our bankers serve on nonprofit boards, support our local educators, and volunteer with our hometown food bank. I'm Bobby Humphrey, Vice President of Business Development for Bryan Bank, and community service is just not a line item in our mission statement. It's who we are. Because after all, Alabama is our home too. That kind of commitment to community might not be what you would expect from a bank, but it's exactly what you can expect from us. Give us a call or stop by one of our 2 offices in the Huntsville area and experience unbeatable service and legendary results.
Bryan Bank Equal Housing Lender, NMLS ID 2428943, member FDIC.
One of the best kept golf secrets in the Tennessee Valley is Cherokee Ridge. Cherokee Ridge truly offers golf at a higher level with immaculate greens set against a spectacular Appalachian backdrop. This 18-hole championship course takes every advantage of rolling hills, whispering woods, lakes, and streams. Interested in becoming a member? Their membership plans feature affordable options for couples, families, and individuals. Book your tee time today, 256-841-4551. Cherokee Ridge, championship quality, affordable prices.
I want to thank you. Thank you for making us your #1 choice for sports talk in North Alabama.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you very much.
97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Hello and welcome back into the Morning Blitz. Johnny Ram, Captain Cole, alongside Joe Hunk and the Bandy Man Bailey Lowery, taking your guys' calls. 256-576-4
97.7
is the number to get in on the programming. Joe, real quick, what do you want to get into?
You've got to, we're paying attention to Hurricane Milton as it is starting to get closer to Florida. And you're also needing to pay attention because, matter of fact, this thing is supposed to start getting hitting on, I believe, close to Wednesday night is when it's actually supposed to start happening. So you're going to have some football games that are getting kind of moved around and or postponed or canceled. Memphis this week is actually supposed to be traveling to USF to play. That game was originally scheduled for Friday, but USF has moved that game back to Saturday. It's still going to be played in Tampa. The kickoff is going to be at 2:30, but both schools as well as the AAC are going to continue to monitor the hurricane just in case some more changes are needed. But as of right now, they've moved that game back a day.
Yeah, definitely thoughts and prayers out to family and friends that are down in the Fort Myers area, because I know that area is about to get lit up. And as we saw in the last 2 years, I mean, there have been so many just disasters that have gone through it, and it's just tough to see. But I mean, that's what you get. I mean, Florida is Florida, and definitely praying for a safe evacuation.
So we actually just a second ago, Jordan Schultz, who is an NFL insider, just posted about the fact that Saleh came into the building today. At business was usual. Everything was great. And then the firing to him came as a surprise, and it came directly from ownership. But the players that were currently in the building were all defensive players, and every single one of them are shocked Like, what on earth are we doing?
You don't want to do that in front of the defensive guys because those are the guys that backed him the most. But definitely some tough stuff coming out of New York for guys that thought that this team was starting to kind of get a hold of things last season when Aaron Rodgers was first brought into that team. I mean, it's just totally done a 360. And I wouldn't say it's the worst thing that's happening in football right now for an organization, but it's definitely up there with, I would say, the top 5 worst things that are going on.
This is like having cancer and giving yourself a little bit of penicillin. Like, this is what it is. Like, oh, hey, I think this is going to work. Let's do this. That's not the issue, though. But no. This is going to work. This is what's going to do it.
Yeah, this will help me out.
This makes the owner of the team, Aaron Rodgers, happy.
Either way, we have a lot of games to get into. I believe 14 to be specific. So let's hop through these games in the NFL rundown for Week 5. Here we go. First game we're going to be looking at, of course, is going to be that Buccaneers-Falcons matchup that we saw last Thursday. Now, look, if you're not going to give it to your running backs, just throw the ball for 500-plus yards. That's exactly what Kirk Cousins did, is he was able to get it to Drake London, Kyle Pitts. On top of that, of course, we got Darnell Mooney, Ra Thompson. It goes all the way down to a guy that a lot of people haven't heard of, Cordell Hodge, who obviously had the game winner at the end of the day. Kirk Cousins, 509 yards, 4 touchdowns, as well as Drake London with 154 yards. And on top of that, Mooney was able to get over 100 as well. This is a game that the Falcons, honestly, were not supposed to win, but they were able to come back in this one and win it 36-30 in a high-scoring Thursday night football matchup that, honestly, I wish there were more of. Moving on to the Cowboys and the Steelers. This game started one day and ended the next. And it was actually the first time.
And Dak Prescott threw an interception in both.
Yep. It was the first time in NFL history that we've seen that happen. So it was absolutely ridiculous. On top of that.
How about them boys?
We got to see Dowdle, the running back for this team, actually put up a pretty good stat line where you look at your fantasy and you're thinking, maybe I need a running back. You look at Dowdle. He's one of those top 2 guys that you want to get.
That's in a minute. Don't do this now.
I'm sorry, I'm teasing it a little bit.
Don't do this now.
Cowboys end up winning this one with 14 points in the fourth, winning this one 20-17, moving to 3-2 and beating the god-awful Steelers. They're trash. Their offense is terrible. On top of that, the defense is actually pretty good, but I hate them. Either way, moving on to the Giants and the Seahawks. This one was a little bit interesting. Right out the gates, we see these huge turnovers that led to touchdowns, and this was the second slate of games on Sunday. And let me tell you, it set the precedent for what was to be seen. 29-20 in this one, as the Giants were able to come back and get the win against the Seahawks, moving to 2-3. And Daniel Jones had himself a consistent game, 257 yards, 2 touchdowns. But it really goes to Darius Slayton, who was able to get 122 yards at a touchdown. In the air. On top of that, it's not a good look whenever Geno Smith's going to have to be that top running back over Kenneth Walker, as he was able to put up 72 yards on the ground as they lost this one and dropped to 3-2 on the season. Moving on to the Packers and the Rams. I honestly loved this matchup. Jordan Love also loved this matchup as he was able to get it to Tucker Kraft 2 times on some big gains. 2 touchdowns for him at the end of that one on 4 receptions, 88 yards. Tucker Kraft looking to be a pretty solid pickup in anybody's fantasy league. Still just teasing it, Joe.
Just teasing it. Stop it.
Just touching on it.
No, don't touch on it. Don't even touch it. Don't touch the butt.
Don't touch the butt. Yeah, there you go.
Don't touch the butt.
Kyren Williams also able to stay consistent as he puts up 102 yards, a touchdown himself on 22 attempts. But again, the real man in this game was Jordan Love, Josh Jacobs, and of course, Tucker Kraft as they move to 3-2 on the season. Moving on to the Raiders versus the Broncos. Another game where the Raiders were a little bit beat up. You think that they might get the upper hand on a divisional opponent in the form of that Broncos squad, but we saw Bo Nix go off 206 yards, 2 touchdowns, and on top of that, their running back was able to put up some yards as well with 61 yards, and Javonte Williams, where it's a guy that, again, you look at on fantasy, you might want to pick up. I'm just saying.
Dude!
He's also a wide receiver. Flex. Put him in the flex. Gardner Minshew. Gardner Minshew is. Well, I mean, we only have a few minutes for that one. Gardner Minshew's not the goal. He's not the guy you want. Put in Aiden O'Connell, please. For the love of God. 34-18 as the rookie gets his third win of the season. Moving on to the Cardinals and the 49ers. Who expected the Cardinals to come back in this one and get the dub against Brock Purdy and the 49ers? As Brock Purdy threw 2 interceptions at the end of this one to help the comeback coming to fruition, with James Conner on the ground, 86 yards rushing, and Kyler Murray running like a child who's got a pair of scissors. Kids don't run with scissors or any short, pointy object. On top of that, Jordan Mason also fumbled in this game, and it definitely set up the Cardinals for a good win, a 2-3 on the season, winning 24-23, and the 49ers falling 2-3 as well. Moving on to the Dolphins and the Patriots, a game we used to love to watch. I mean, we used to love this matchup. Nowadays, though, it is one of the grossest games in the NFL. 15-10 was the score in this one as the Dolphins and Tyler Snoop Huntley were able to get the dog win in this one against Jacoby Brissett. It's just 2 second strings going against each other in this one.
Yeah, they didn't make it look easy.
Just gross. It is a preseason game. Ramondre Stevenson, congratulations. You had the best game out of literally everybody else in this football matchup.
It's wild to me. We say it every week, but just how different this Miami team is without Tua.
Sheesh. I mean, it's a bad look. I mean, it's a bad look. 2-3 the Dolphins are now as they just cry about it and not make it to the playoffs at the end of this one. I'm just predicting that right now. Whew. Moving on to the Jags and the Colts. I know Joe loves this matchup. Yeah? No, he hates these two teams.
No.
He hates them. I got to admit, the Jaguars were feeling themselves in this game, able to get up 37 on this Colts team. But at the end of the day, this Colts team is not bad, or is not terrible. Joe Flacco honestly makes this squad look a little bit better. 359 yards passing, 3 touchdowns. I mean, come on. He was able to keep him up, and he's an old man. Talk about a veteran quarterback I want on my team. Looking at you, Jets. But the Jaguars able to get the dub in this one as that scoring just stayed consistent all throughout. 37-34 at the end of this one as the Jags get their first win of the season in those beautiful throwbacks. Moving on. Do I even want to talk about this Commanders game against the Cleveland Browns? I don't want to talk about it. I like my shirt, though. It's pretty cool. Either way, Jaden Daniels continues to just have success in the NFL as the Commanders move to 4-1 after demolishing, just absolutely sticking the Browns in the dirt and then doing things. 34-13 was the score in this one. Jaden Daniels, 238 yards, 1 beautiful touchdown pass, and on top of that, he was able to run it in. On top of that, he had 82 yards rushing on 11 attempts because third downs, they ain't a problem for a quarterback like him. On top of that, Terry McLaurin continues to slowly become the number 1 wide receiver for this Commanders team. I mean, who else they got? You want to throw out a name? Anybody? That's what I thought. Deshaun Watson gave up on the team halfway through the game. I am so disappointed in this pickup. But hey, at least he was able to appease yet another sexual assault case. Didn't think I'd throw that one out.
Well, I mean, absolutely. It's the biggest story for you because you're hoping it actually happens.
Get him out of here.
Yeah.
Jeez. Browns are 1-4, and honestly, there is no chance that they're going to win against the Eagles next week, and that's sad to think about. Bears versus the Panthers, I'm going to tell you this. Andy Dalton is a better quarterback than Bryce Young, at least for this scheme. At the end of the day, though, the Panthers just didn't have enough on the defensive side of the ball, on the offensive side of the ball, in the coaching, in the college scene. I mean, the scouting. I mean, everybody's just falling apart with the Panthers. And honestly, it's the only team that looks worse than the Cleveland Browns right now, as they fall to 1-4 after getting decimated, 36-10 to the Chicago Bears. Caleb Williams, 304 yards, 2 touchdowns, and on top of that, Swift had himself a hell of a game with 73 yards and a touchdown. And, of course, DJ Moore, welcome back, brother. 105 yards, 2 touchdowns for him as we move on to the final few games. The Bills and the Texans, another game we love to watch. Went all the way down to the wire after the Texans got out to a pretty assertive lead. At the end of the day, though, C.J. Stroud was a little too much. And Josh Allen and this coaching organization, I mean, golly. 3 deep passes from your own end zone, just not the way to go.
Oh, no, it was hilarious.
Oh,
hilariously bad.
How do you fall apart like that in the fourth quarter? I mean, it was like, we got to give it to Vegas there. Ravens and Bengals, wonderful matchup every single time. Didn't think this one would go out as far as it did, 41-38. Who wins? Not the Bengals and Chase McLaughlin, as he missed He shanked his field goal attempt, and I don't know why the Bengals didn't try and set something up a little bit closer for him, but it was still a little too far away. Both Lamar Jackson and Joe Burrow went absolutely sicko mode. 348 yards from Jackson, 4 touchdowns. Burrow had the better game, 392 yards, 5 touchdowns, and he was on Joe bench.
Yeah, he was.
1 interception from him. It didn't really change anything. Derrick Henry, you're an absolute beast. 92 yards, 1 touchdown. I mean, come on, dude. King Henry. Give him the crown. Jets and Vikings, we talked plenty about it. Jets are slowly falling apart while the Vikings continue to be great, 5-0. The only other 5-0 team next to the Kansas City Chiefs, who have a little bit of help from the tight ends, a little bit of help from the quarterback, a little bit of help from Kareem Hunt,
a little bit of help from the refs,
and a little bit of help from the refs. 26-13, the Chiefs get the win against the Saints last night. The Saints team struggling, trying to find themselves right now. Their defense is the best thing they got, but they're really going to miss out on Derek Carr, especially as we penned his injury report, because I got Rashee Rice, and honestly, I don't think that second stringer is going to be able to get it to Rashee Rice like Derek Carr was. He was slinging it.
I got to admit, it's probably really reassuring to just know you can just fling it downfield to whoever you want, and there's a 50-50 shot you're going to get a pass interference call.
Well, if you're the Chiefs.
Exactly.
If you're the Chiefs.
Yeah.
Sorry, Joe. Your team they're fine. They're great. They do everything they need to do perfectly, but they do also have a little bit of help from the.
Wait. What do you mean, Joe's team? I was under the impression that you were a Titans guy.
Okay, so here's the thing. When the first time that I was here was before I moved to Nashville and started working with the Titans and all that. So it was always Chiefs. So Tom always says my Chiefs. And so now, even after working with the Titans, they still say my Chiefs.
Well, are they your Chiefs?
Not so much.
No,
not so much.
I thought you were a fan of this team.
No, it was a fan of the city. It's a fan of the people. It's a fan of, but for people that don't realize, in 2020, I was about to move there.
Yeah, it was a beautiful city. Though.
I was about to move there and work with the Chiefs flagship station, and then COVID hit. And so, yeah, there was a lot of love for the Chiefs and everybody there and getting to go to it. There was, but I've literally worked with the Titans for 4 years now. So it's it's a little bit of a different thing.
Well, if you could
a little bit tough.
Toss it up, Kansas City or Nashville?
Oh, Nashville.
Nashville?
Yeah, okay. Nashville. There's 2 cities in the world that my wife and I agreed that we would move to whenever we were leaving Montgomery. Yeah. If we got to choose Nashville or Kansas City, and Nashville was going to be the one. So that's the reason why I started working.
Well, I'm definitely glad you got out of Nashville and moved down here again. Because Huntsville's the place to be right now. If you guys don't know, we have a lot of football. Well, no, not football teams. We have some football teams. We mainly have the baseball, the hockey, which is coming up this month. Who's looking forward to Huntsville having hockey? I definitely am going to be at every single one of those games, and Steve will probably be right next to me. And then on top of that, of course, you do get a plethora of college athletics all around the area. But we got to take it to break. When we come back, what's your fantasy here on the Morning Blitz?
The state's largest orthopedic group is growing to meet the needs of the patients in our community. The Orthopedic Center has long been the most trusted name in orthopedics in North Alabama. So as our area continues on the fast track, so does the need for premier orthopedic care anywhere and anytime you need it. TOC is proud to announce the opening of our new locations in Albertville and Hampton Cove, along with the grand opening of our newest office in Decatur. These clinics will offer the same high-quality orthopedic care you have come to associate with TOC, with the convenience of being closer to home. As a patient, your time is your most precious asset, and we recognize that at TOC. That's why we are also proud to announce the opening of our urgent ortho clinics to handle those bumps and bruises that need prompt attention. These clinics are available to care for acute orthopedic injuries with no appointment necessary. With 38 physicians, 20 centers of excellence, and now more than a dozen locations to serve you, TOC will continue to be the name you turn to for the best orthopedic care at the right time. Visit our website at visittoc.com for more information. TOC, helping you live a better life.
It all comes back to money.
Visit our store right now at zonedeals.bigdealsmedia.net to take advantage of all the best deals in the Tennessee Valley. Or just go to our website, 977ESPN.com, and click on the Zone Deals logo to start saving right now.
Now, as to the price.
These deals won't last long, so get yours now. Zone Deals. You'll thank us later.
A man who could easily afford to buy a vowel. Tom Luganville here for my friends at Woody Anderson Ford. Bobby White and his team take great pride in their service department, and you can see it the moment you walk into those beautiful new service lanes. And just like a championship team, they all work together to make sure your experience is second to none, whether you drive a Ford or not. Also, check out the gold certified pre-owned inventory at Woody Anderson Ford for great deals every day. Stop by and see them at Jordan and Sparkman or at Woody Anderson of Madison on Hughes Road, or visit WoodyAndersonFord.com.
At Mr. Sparky, we're America's on-time electrician. Flickering lights and hot switches can be annoying, but they can also signal a major problem, or worse, an electrical emergency. So play it safe and leave it to the experts at Mr. Sparky. Trust our team of professional, clean, and friendly electricians. We'll get it done right and get it done safely.
You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call 888-8-SPARKY.
Independently owned and operated, licensed in the respective state or county.
Final segment of the first hour here on the Morning Blitz. Top into those phone lines as we've got Natty Dan on with us. Natty Dan, how are you, big man?
Hello.
Hey.
How's it going, sir?
What a dog.
Well, you guys doing all right?
Yeah, doing great. How are you?
Good. Well, yeah, good. Don't worry about Kansas City and Minnesota. I know of a team that's got their number.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So they do, and that's facts. You know that. So it's still a big thing. Still a big thing. But I was looking forward to get the joy of being the Yankee Slayer. But Kansas City's a Yankee Slayer.
Yeah, they might make quick work of them. See that?
That game last night was awesome.
Did you watch my game last?
Yeah, actually, I have to talk about that here in just a few minutes, as a matter of fact.
Ooh, dude, that was clutch. And our starting is so cool. He's going to be a Cy Young for sure. What a pitcher! That guy's a stud. But they can't figure him out. He's unbelievable. And then, I think I was in the beginning of the ninth when we went up by 3. It was a 3 runs, a dinger, boy. And from the reliever, that's the best in the leagues. He was throwing 100-mile-an-hour pills. And we nailed it, man. With the Carpenter, a 3-run jack. And guess who's the winners? Chicken dinners.
No, that was hands down. If you ever tell anybody this is the reason why you should watch playoff baseball, that game is the example you need to use. That game was no matter what I was doing, I was paying attention to that game because it was so intense.
I was so excited. Yeah, we were able to watch the whole darn thing. I'll tell you what, that breaks the back of a team like that, so I don't know, fellas, we might be in the, you might get to the next round. I think, I don't know. I wish we had 2 pitchers like our starting pitcher yesterday.
Everybody does.
Unfortunately, we don't. But you know what? We got a good manager, and he's going to throw a lot of pitchers out there. He don't care, and we got a lot in the bullpen. So it holds well for us. That was a big moment for us.
No, it was absolutely is, and I cannot wait for this game at Comerica. I think it is going to be the crowd at Comerica when first pitch happens is going to be an amazing crowd. Like, it is going to be a fun game to watch.
And that's going to be what day? That's today, maybe Thursday or what?
Yeah, so they have today off because today is going to be your travel day. And then then they're going to be playing on Wednesday. It's going to be a 2:00 first pitch.
Okay. All right. Well, good. Well, I tell you, fellas, it's great to be in the postseason. A lot of my teams are in the postseason. I believe the Lions will be in the postseason. And, I'm not worried about our division. I'm not worried about Kansas City. This team is, like I said, I call it North Alabama team. I love it. All right, man, pal. I'll talk to you all later.
Great stuff from you, Natty Dan. Now let's, all right, well, we got one more. I don't want to fit in Crawdad.
No, let's wait for
2
Crawdad.
seconds,
Yeah, let's wait for Crawdad.
I feel like we cut him off last time, and I don't want to do that.
Yeah, we're about to hit the hard music, Crawdad. We got you in the next segment.
Yeah, so just hang tight with us as we continue to look at some of these baseball games. As we're seeing a pretty interesting trend right now. Teams are winning, and then the other teams are winning. Joe, you're the one that's watching them.
No, and that's that. I'm telling you, and that's what I told. I'm calling you Wolverine Dan because your team sucks now. So Wolverine Dan, it is. So it is. If you ever wonder the reason why so many people get excited about Major League Baseball playoffs, go back and watch that Tigers game against the Indians because it was every single play mattered in that one. It was the fourth inning mattered just as much as the seventh and eighth inning. Like it was that intense the entire time.
I would have just tuned in to the last 2 innings, maybe.
Nothing.
Where all the runs came.
Nothing. It was so amazing to watch the two pitchers. And I would argue with Dan, Clase is actually probably the best reliever in the American League.
All right. Good stuff.
Even if he got hit.
Well, we got a whole extra hour to go. So we'll see you on the other side here on the Morning Blitz.
Specializing in simple and affordable rentals, McCurry Van and Car Rental can make sure you have just the right vehicle for your next family vacation, weekend getaway, or if you just need transportation while your vehicle is being repaired. McCurry carries Ford Transit vans and Mercedes Sprinter vans, trucks and work vans, and more. And they offer discounted rental rates for long-term rentals. Now with 4 locations: Athens, Muscle Shoals, Coleman, and Huntsville. Log on McCurryRentals.com to make your reservation now. That's McCurryRentals.com.
At Mr. Sparky, we're America's on-time electrician. Flickering lights and hot switches can be annoying, but they can also signal a major problem, or worse, an electrical emergency. So play it safe and leave it to the experts at Mr. Sparky. Trust our team of professional, clean, and friendly electricians. We'll get it done right and get it done safely.
You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call 888. Sparky.
Independently owned and operated, licensed in the respective state or county.
You need a lawyer and pick up the phone. I'm attorney Gary Lackey. When you call for a lawyer, where does that phone ring? My phone rings in my office.
I'm attorney Justin Lackey. My phone rings in my office too.
So does mine. I'm attorney Jennifer Lackey. And when you've been hurt and need help, we're the ones who take your call.
The Lackey Law Firm. The Lackey Law Family. 1-800-4RIGHTS.
No representation is made that the quality of the legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
From the University of Alabama, this is Crimson Tide Today. Its daily update on Bama sports, and it's brought to you by Everwood Treatment Company, the official treated lumber of Alabama athletics. Everwood, wood treated right. Hello again, everybody. I'm Roger Hoover. Here are thoughts from head coach Kalen DeBoer during Monday's press conference in Tuscaloosa.
Watching the film and all of that from Saturday, just a lot of the same feelings I had, after the game. And I think the feelings, first of all, the team has certainly disappointed, upset, fired up, and I think, you're always looking at what the response is. And they came yesterday back, the thing you have to provide as coaches is the answers, an understanding of where we go from here. And I think our staff did a nice job, and I think our guys did a great job responding with the right mindset, with the right attitude, brought some great energy. Probably one of the nice things about having a Sunday where we get together is, we get to move on, outside of the building. The game gets held on to for not a day, probably not a week. For some people, you hold on to it for the rest of your life.
I'll have more in a moment.
Producing championship quality lumber is not an easy process, but at Everwood Preserving, it's our only process. Wood treated right. Everwood offers top-notch pressure-treated wood for decks, outdoor structures, commercial jobs, and more that you can build your reputation on. When it comes to quality, we're on the winning team. Visit your local Everwood dealer today and discover the difference for yourself. Everwood Preserving Incorporated, the official lumber of the Alabama Crimson Tide.
Join us this afternoon for Crimson Drive, driven by NASCAR, streaming live at 2 p.m. Central on all CTSN social media platforms. Crimson Tide Today is brought to you by Everwood. Crimson Tide Today is a production of the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield.
This is Brent Musburger's VSiN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Check out VSiN's catalog of original podcasts, daily and weekly programming to keep you in the know when you're on the go. Only at VSIN.com. Now, here are the latest lines from my guys in the desert.
Major League Baseball playoffs, all 4 series are now tied at a game apiece after the Tigers beat the Guardians 3-0 on Monday, and the Royals doubled up the Yankees 4-2. On the schedule tonight, it's the Mets and Phillies in Queens. Sean Manaea starts for New York against Aaron Nola, both teams minus 110 on the money line. In San Diego, the Padres host the Dodgers. Michael King starts for the home team. San Diego minus 155, the Dodgers plus 130. Walker Buehler gets the nod. The plus 350 Yankees, the World Series favorite, with the Dodgers plus 425. The plus 350 Yankees, the favorite to win the World Series. The Dodgers and Phillies plus 425. That's the VSiN action update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. I'm Chuck Sanders.
Log on today, 977ESPN.com.
3, 2, 1.
Joe Hunk, John Abraham, Bailey Lowery, 256-576-4977. This is the Morning Blitz.
Second hour, final hour, best hour of the Morning Blitz. No matter if you're listening on 97.7 ESPN The Zone or on ESPN Winchester, just know that every single morning is brought to you by Fleming Roofing and Restoration.
The guys you need to talk to about all of your roofing needs. If you're having any roofing problems, make sure you look them up online at FlemingHSV.com to fill out your free quote today. And remember that Fleming always shows up.
Thank you there, wacky television voice guy.
New show, new accent.
You can also give us a call at 256-5764.
97.7.
And you can also watch WZZN TV. Doesn't matter if you're on YouTube and or X. Go to 97.7 ESPN and you can watch it right there and get your comments in. As in the first hour, Robert Saleh was fired from the New York Jets, 20-36 as a head coach for the Jets, but we all know he is not the problem. You also had a lot of conversation about the NFL and what has happened there. By the way, just in case you know, it has been 1 hour and 15 minutes since a Georgia Bulldog has been arrested. So check on your Georgia Bulldogs and make sure that they are all doing not so dumb things because we've had yet another one arrested just a little while ago.
Well, here's the thing. I think they're getting the premise of red shirting a little bit off. And instead of
red shirting, not orange shirting.
Yeah, instead of transferring, out to a different college, they're transferring out to these prisons. And I see Georgia State Prison as the biggest in Georgia. So definitely an idea for some of these guys.
But let's get back to those phone lines because we told Crawdad we're going to come to him after the break because we know he wants to talk about Army and the fact that the Army team is just playing amazing right now. The number 1 team in the AAC. How's it going, Crawdad?
Going great. And actually what I want to talk about is how Vanderbilt beat Alabama, because I've been watching this for years and years and years.
Mm-hmm.
And what they did was they decided to take a page out of Jeff Monken's playbook and play Army football.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Yeah.
That means you show up with an offense that nobody's really used to defending. You control the clock, keep the home run hitters off the field, and then if the other team makes a couple of mistakes, which Alabama did with the pick six and with the Milrow strip sack, then you got a chance to beat anybody. I've seen Army do this in Oklahoma. I saw them do it in Michigan, and they've been doing it all year. And I think if anybody looks at that film, they might figure out that the way to beat Alabama is to keep the home run hitters off the field. And now I'm not taking anything away from Vanderbilt. They did very well, and they played a great game. But frankly, they had a better coaching plan, and they used it to the fullest, and Alabama played right into their hands. Yeah. And by the way, Bailey, you'll see this Wednesday night when I bring my stat sheet up. If you look at what Army's doing, we're in the top 10 in most every important statistic in the country this year. Our team is really playing well, and for once in our life, this is the first time it's ever been available, but we have an outside shot at the CFP.
No, you're right. The biggest thing is right now you guys are unranked. I know you're like 27th in the AP poll right now, which again, the college football playoff poll is the one that matters. And you need some help when it comes to Boise State. Like that's the biggest one, because right now Army is dominating that division as far as the AAC is concerned, and it's going to come down. It could come down to Army Navy. It genuinely could twice, not just once, but twice.
I don't know. I even look at that Notre Dame matchup, and I think Boise State, they're playing really good football, but they're not playing against any tough opponents. Whereas, you can, say the same thing about Army, but at the same time, they will be playing a top-ranked Notre Dame team. And if they're able to get a jump on them or at least play them in a really good football game all 4 quarters, I think that's something the committee could definitely look at and maybe use to maybe boost this team up a little bit higher.
Well, one thing that's interesting is when the committee has to make their selections before what could potentially be the second Army-Navy game. Yeah. So that's unusual, but hey, it's a great season for us, and hats off to the Vanderbilt Commodores. They figured out a way to beat Alabama, and I'm an Alabama fan too, and I hope Alabama can teach players how to play linebacker and how to tackle, because that's really what. And the defense was atrocious. Let's just say what it is. But hey, interesting stuff. That's one of the reasons why I love college football.
No doubt.
Who knows what's going to happen?
No, you're absolutely right. And thanks for that call, Crawdad, because like Army right now, and for one thing that Crawdad's talking about, there are only 4 teams in college football that have given up fewer points on defense than what Army has. Tennessee, Ole Miss, Texas, and Ohio State. Those are the only teams that have given up fewer points than what Army has. The biggest thing for Army, and let's just say if it were to come down to Army Navy, let's just say if both teams are undefeated, it comes down to them. They both would end up ranked. What I think would happen in reality is I do believe that the College Football Playoff Committee would say, okay, we've got to wait an extra week. Like it would almost be very similar to the voting for the Heisman. If there was an Army or Navy player involved in this, they would have to wait an extra week. The problem with it, especially with the Heisman, is that normally the Heisman Trophy is given out the same night as Army Navy. So that's a little bit different. But with this, they would have to wait until the weekend of Army Navy and make that decision the very next day. Yeah. Because if these two teams, especially if they have to face each other twice, one in the AAC, and then they would have to turn around and play each other again, whoever wins the AAC would then need to also win Army Navy for them to be in consideration for this. Because right now, as far as group of 5 teams are concerned, Army, Navy, and Boise State are your 3 best. Those are arguably your 3 best group of 5 teams.
Yeah, and the committee never thought that they had to take this into account. I mean, it's an Army team that, as we've talked to Crawdad throughout the years, I mean, they've been good in certain aspects, but they haven't been elite. This year, they're starting to look a little bit elite. And yes, you could look at their schedule, who they're playing. I'm not going to, jump in on a team if they're only playing some average opponents at best, but
they're playing in their division.
I mean,
you can't help it that they play Rice and Temple and FAU. Those are all teams in their division. Tulsa in their conference.
That's when it gets to the point where a team goes into the playoffs, and a lot of people are going to look at it. That 12th team in, what is going to be that score against that team? Because they're going to be playing up against a competitor that is faced off against maybe Big 12 opponents all season or Big 10 opponents all season, which, say what you will, might not be that much tougher for a Big 10 opponent to get in, but still, it's definitely going to be something to take into account. And who would you rather have in? Would it be an Army team that is playing up against a lot of, AAC opponents, and then Notre Dame's thrown in there? Or would you want a Boise State team that, yes, challenged a top-ranked Oregon team, but didn't win, and then went on to win all of their other games against the Utah States, against Hawaii, against Nevada? That's the type of thing that I'm looking at. Who would be more competitive in the playoffs right now? I'm going to say this. Ashton Gentry, he's amazing. He's a great football player.
There's a legit shot that this man should be your Heisman Trophy.
But
it's legit.
I think the better team might actually be Army, and that's going to be the intriguing thing.
And that's going to be the interesting part of this, because right now, if the college football playoffs happen today, we see that all the time with baseball. Yep. Like if the playoffs started today, this is what it would look like. We see it in the NFL, like week 12. Right now, if the playoffs started today, Boise State would be going to Georgia to play in Athens for the right to go face Iowa State in the Fiesta Bowl. And if you substitute Boise State and put Army in against Georgia, and I'm not talking about ability or anything, this is one of those scenarios, again, where you have to look at this as like America's team type thing, because there are a lot of Georgia fans. There's a lot of Alabama fans. There's a lot of Penn State fans. But every single time that Army, Navy play each other, you have those fans of those fan bases also have family members and friends that are in the military, and they go for Army, Navy. It is. I mean, it is one of those things. Like, everybody has that. And I think that this would be another one of those scenarios where, yeah, you're probably going to have a lot of Georgia fans there, obviously, because it's in Athens, but you would be surprised at how many Army fans would be there as well, because there's Army everywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, literally everywhere in the world.
It's
not like it's going to be hard for their fan base to show up because their fan base is everywhere.
Yeah, it's like the catch-22 with it. It's like you can hate a lot of good teams. You can hate Memphis. You can hate, Boise State. You can hate a rival team. But you never really go after a team like Army or Navy unless you are on those opposite sides, because then you have a reason to hate. But at the end of the day, nobody truly hates either Army or Navy. So whenever it comes down to a matchup, if it is Georgia versus Army, at the end of the day, we might actually see more Army fans than Georgia fans, and that's kind of crazy to think of altogether.
All right, when we come back, we'll be joined by a man he's going to do a little bit of double dipping with the conversation, because not only does Jim Wyatt cover the Tennessee Titans as they're getting ready to take on the Indianapolis Colts this weekend, but he is arguably one of the biggest and most notable Vanderbilt alum and fans that I have ever met in my entire life.
Okay.
I think this man probably got as many congratulation text messages over this past few days as what Clark Lee has gotten. And I'm not kidding. It's that extravagant. So Jim Wyatt of TennesseeTitans.com joins us next on the Morning Blitz.
Tom Luganville here for my friends at Woody Anderson Ford. Bobby White and his team take great pride in their service department, and you can see it the moment you walk into those beautiful new service lanes. And just like a championship team, they all work together to make sure your experience is second to none, whether you drive a Ford or not. Also, check out the gold certified pre-owned inventory at Woody Anderson Ford for great deals every day. Stop by and see them at Jordan and Sparkman, or at Woody Anderson of Madison on Hughes Road, or visit WoodyAndersonFord.com.
Chapman Commercial Realty, your source for Alabama commercial real estate. Chapman Commercial Realty has the experience and expertise you're looking for when making commercial real estate decisions. If it's office space, retail space, investment property, or project development, Chapman Commercial Realty is your answer. Call Bill Chapman today at 256-656-8413. That's 256-656-8413. Or find them online at ChapmanCommercialRealty.com.
You need a lawyer and pick up the phone. I'm attorney Gary Lackey. When you call for a lawyer, where does that phone ring? It might be in a call center somewhere, maybe 100 miles away, but my phone rings in my office.
The Lackey Law Firm.
I'm attorney Justin Lackey. My phone rings in my office too.
So does mine. I'm attorney Jennifer Lackey. And when you've been hurt and need help, we're here. We're the ones who take your call.
And get what you deserve.
You want to talk to your lawyer. You don't want to reach a call center. With the Lackey Law Firm, that never happens.
The Lackey Law Firm.
And this is the most important part. We'll treat you like family, because that's exactly what we are.
The Lackey Law Firm.
And I'll go you one better. If you can't come to us, we'll come to you.
The Lackey Law Firm. The Lackey Law Family. 1-800-4-RIGHTS.
No representation is made that the quality of the legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
Next time you're online looking for landscaping inspiration, open Instagram and check out Southern Gent Landscaping. They can help make your yard your dream outdoor oasis. Southern Gent Landscaping can handle it all, from landscape maintenance and installation to irrigation and hardscapes, even AstroTurf. Turn your yard into a landscape you'll be proud to show off. Call Southern Gent Landscaping at 256-509-6088. 509-6088. Southern Gent Landscaping. Professional landscaping performed with satisfaction guaranteed. The company is Eagle Masonry and Insulation, but did you know they're also Eagle Landscaping and Dirt Work? Eagle can take care of all your landscaping needs, including irrigation, sod work, and planting, both plants and trees. On the dirt work side, Eagle can grade and build your pads, haul dirt in or out, and even do erosion control. Philip Love and his team can do it all for you. The website is the same, insulatewitheagle.com, as is the phone number, 256-755-1556. Give them a call and see what Eagle can do for you. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
Coming up at noon on Sunday, you have the Titans hosting the wonderfully hated, I say it in a way because if you are a Titans fan, you absolutely hate them, Indianapolis Colts. You'll be able to hear that over on ESPN Winchester at noon, and this man is going to be in the stadium. He may or may not still be celebrating what happened Saturday night as he was in the stadium over on Vanderbilt's campus, and that is the one and only Jim Wyatt of TennesseeTitans.com. Jim, did you or Clark Lee receive more text messages with congratulations on Saturday night?
I got a lot. Yeah, people that know me well know my Vanderbilt history and being a fan since I was a little kid. So I heard from people I had not heard from in a while. I saw a lot of people at the game and on the field. My wife and I, last time I stormed a field at a college football game was 1982 when Vanderbilt played Tennessee and Whit Taylor was a quarterback and they won that game. And I was a teenager then. And back then I was trying to get on top of the goalpost to tear it down. And so I was at the game on Saturday. Again, I've been going to Vandy games since I was a kid. Some of my first memories of being a Vanderbilt fan was being at the Vanderbilt Alabama game in 1979 when Alabama won 66-3, and Barry Bryant was the head coach. So I've been sat through a lot of games, and my wife went to Ole Miss, played college golf at Ole Miss, but grew up in a Vandy household like me. So she's been a Vandy fan her whole life. So we were at the game on Saturday, sitting in row 53. The game ends, people start storming the field. I tell my wife, we got to go down the field. And she says, we can't get down the field. There were a lot of people in the aisleways. And I said, we've got to get down there. So we started climbing down the stairs, climbed a couple of railings, got down to the front row, which is hard to get on the field from there, stepped on the trash can, stepped on a bench, and we both survived it. And it's different storming the field when you're in your 50s than it is when you're a teenager. We were just trying to not get hit by the goalpost coming down. So we were fired up. It was a great day for a Vanderbilt fan, and I'm not saying this rubbing it, because I know people in Huntsville, Alabama don't want to hear about Vandy fans celebrating beating Alabama. I do feel like I need to point out I'm not one of these people around here that hate Alabama. My daughter went to school at Alabama. My son-in-law went to school at Alabama over the last 5 years from the time when she was in school, and I cheer for Alabama every week except for when they're playing Vandy. But Vanderbilt has always been my team, and was at the Vandy Alabama game in 1984 in Tuscaloosa, last time Vandy won. So I was excited about that, and I did hear from a lot of people after that game, and I've got a lot of people that I know that support Alabama who have been good sports to me about it, because they know how know the history of Vandy and my fandom. So I'm not rubbing it in on the Huntsville, Alabama show. I do have respect for Alabama, but I am excited about it.
Well, I mean, some things just don't change. I mean, whether it's a big win back in the 70s or 80s compared to now, I mean, people are still taking down goalposts. The one thing that did change, though, was the 23-year streak of Vanderbilt losing to this Alabama team. That changed, and it was a huge event. When you get down on the field, because I got to know this, you've been to a lot of games, you've stormed the field a few times. Do you take any momentum, or something just from the field, because I know people are buying the goalpost off of online and stuff. Do you pick up any of like the little, like the grass or any of the rubber on the field, anything like that?
Well, first I want to point out that you're very astute and make a great point there, because I've seen a lot of, at the start, because I've seen a lot of people talking about this win for Vandy, saying it's been 40 years, making it sound like Vanderbilt had lost to Alabama 40 years in a row. It hasn't nearly been that bad. It's only been 23 years because they didn't play every year from 1984 to 2024. Yep. So it's not as lopsided. I'm kidding here, but it's not as lopsided as people have made it out to be. I didn't take any. I will say this: I found a couple of hats. Like there was on the field. There were shoes and there were hats and there was all kinds of stuff in the field, and I did pick up a hat that looked like a cool hat. I didn't take anything from the stadium. They're trying to auction off parts of the goalpost and other memorabilia from that day. to raise some money, which I think is a smart move by Vandy. But I got pictures on the field with my wife. We were down there by the goalpost. Got a picture of that. That'll have to do. I didn't take any other souvenirs from that day. I probably won't ever delete my I'll probably keep a screenshot of my SeatGeek ticket and probably won't ever delete that from my phone.
Wait, now you said you took a hat. For anybody that doesn't know, like if you ever see Jim White at practice or anything else, he always has a visor on with a pencil inside of it. Did you get yourself a new visor as well? Like, I mean, I know you said you found a hat. Was it a hat or was it a visor? Like, did you get like an Alabama Vanderbilt memory right there?
No, I'll still wear my visor. Yeah, okay. It's a hat, but my wife will probably end up wearing it on her walks when she wears hats. But yeah, I'm still a visor guy. I got a Vandy visor right now.
See, I mean, I'm telling you, he's always in a visor now. On Sundays, he's in a suit. Jim looks good in his suit as he's getting ready to cover the Titans. And Jim, I know the Titans had a bye week this week. Indy's coming in right now on betting sites. They're about a 1-point favorite, so they're basically a pick 'em. But a lot of the questioning is going to be about Will Levis and Mason Rudolph, and mainly with Will Levis. How is he looking and feeling going into this week so far? I know practice has really just started for the Colts.
Well, I have a lot better idea tomorrow when they're back in kind of full go. Yesterday was kind of just more of a kind of a shakeout, kind of get guys back in the flow of things after being off for a week. But Brian Callahan's certainly not trying to play any kind of gamesmanship here, disguise anything. I mean, he expects Will Levis to practice and expects him to be ready to play on Sunday. And I think the only thing that would change that is when he returns to practice, if he's throwing and he's got so much discomfort and pain, they decide to shut him down for a little bit, and then they decide to make a different decision then. But I don't think they envision that happening. I think they expect him to be back and playing and needing to play better. It is, I've been around a lot of quarterback, I don't want to say controversies, but quarterback conversations over the years, dating back to when I first started covering the team, and Steve McNair was a quarterback and he struggled, and people wanted, Neil O'Donnell to take his place, and did the same thing with Vince Young and Kerry Collins and with Jake Locker and Matt Hasselbeck. You always have different opinions on who the quarterback should be, especially when the starter is struggling. And I think Mason Rudolph coming in and playing on Monday night, the Titans winning that game, has created some conversation here about who the quarterback should be. But, the team has not wavered at all on it being Levis. They're not going to pull the plug on him yet. He's going to get a chance to prove that he can do the job or show that he can't. And that's going to help shape the direction of this franchise at that position moving forward. But they're not going to pull the plug after 4 games. And if he's ready and healthy and that shoulder's not bothering too bad, he's going to play, and going to play until they have more time to make a decision.
Well, and I know that we saw it on Monday Night Football. He was trying really hard to get back in the game. He was throwing. He had his helmet on. He wanted to go, but obviously they shut him down. What was there if we're looking at positives for Will Levis as far as being shut down on Monday night and watching Mason Rudolph with this offense? What were some positives that Will Levis could take from that performance of Mason Rudolph and help him with this bye week and going into the Colts?
Yeah, I think mainly just kind of watching him, the poise that Rudolph played with and the decisions that he made, and his mindset that, hey, just don't do anything to cost your team a chance to win the game. Because the reality is that's what has hindered Levis at the start of this season is he's just turned the ball over too much and given the other team points and cost the team wins. I mean, he's thrown 6 interceptions in the first 4 games. And he didn't play much of the 4th game. He's fumbled 3 times, threw a couple of pick sixes, and Mason Rudolph comes in and doesn't turn the ball over, and just kind of makes some big throws at critical times early when the Titans were taking care of a lead, and then second half. I mean, people don't only realize it. If you look at the box score, obviously you do, but Mason Rudolph only threw 3 passes in the second half. And a lot of people here thinking he played a great game, when the reality is he just didn't make any mistakes. And I think that's what Levis has got to do. He's got to realize, hey, I don't have to be a hero. just get the ball to my playmakers, let the defense win the game for you, and and rely on your running game, and don't force it. And if they'd played follow that similar approach in Chicago in Week 1, this team would be 2-2 right now. Because the game unraveled because of obviously of a blocked punt, but also because of a pick six late.
Jim Wyatt from TennesseeTitans.com is our guest, talking a little bit more about the Tennessee Titans as we look forward to this Colts matchup. Of course, Titans have their own concerns at the quarterback position. You look at the other side, though, the Indianapolis Colts still questionable with Anthony Richardson in his second year. But on top of that, Joe Flacco's been finding a little bit of momentum. Talk a little bit about these two quarterbacks and which one you think that the Titans would have a better chance of taking advantage of if he is the play caller.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. I mean, it seems like every time the Titans have played the last couple of weeks, there's been some question about who the quarterback would be, whether it's Jordan Love or Malik Willis, going into Week 3, or whether it's Tyler Huntley or who it was going to be in it for Miami after Tua got hurt. I think became clear that it was not going to be Skylar Thompson as the days passed, but and here we are again with some uncertainty. I don't know. That's a tough question. I mean, Anthony Richardson, his season ended against the Titans last year in that game in Indy, and he started that game, didn't finish, and now here he is a year later, kind of some question marks heading into this game. I think if you're the Titans, and this is just me, but Anthony Richardson just doesn't have a lot of experience yet. He's still kind of finding his way. In a lot of ways, he's like Will Levis, and yes, he's got incredible arm talent, and he can make some incredible throws, but he's also, again, still finding his way. Flacco, to me, has been remarkable. Not only what he's been able to do the last couple of years, keeping his career alive, but just, he just, no matter where he is, he's a guy that can step in and can put up some yards and guide teams to win. So I don't know. I almost would rather have it be, from an intriguing perspective. I'd would rather see a Richardson-Levis matchup just because, two young guys in that draft class last year finally getting a chance to go head-to-head. And I think the Titans could certainly do some things to challenge Richardson. He can do some things to challenge both of them, but he would have seen a lot less.
Well, Jim, we deeply appreciate you hopping on, and we knew that you had a unique perspective, not just obviously with the Titans, but with everything that happened on Vanderbilt. And yes, you're on the radio station that carries Alabama games, so we got to hear it from the other side. But there's two people in this world that I personally am happy for Vanderbilt getting that win. That's you and Clark Lee, because Clark Lee has worked so hard with Vanderbilt. To see that victory was awesome, and having you on to talk about everything that happened with that game from your perspective was amazing. Thank you, sir.
Well, I appreciate that, and good luck to everybody down there. And Joe, good to hear from you always, and I hope to see you in the press box again at some point before too long.
I hope so as well, sir. And I promise you, when I see you next, I'll definitely come over and talk to you, because I love having your conversations with you, sir. Thank you.
Okay, appreciate it. Y'all have a good week.
You too, sir. That is Jim White, TennesseeTitans.com, as he joins us on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline.
A great guest, I have to admit. And when I think about the whole Vanderbilt-Alabama loss, you look at this game and you think about the ones in the past, Tennessee wins, you think about Texas A&M, all of that. If any team is going to beat Alabama, I know it's a little bit demoralizing, I would say, but Vanderbilt getting the win out of all the teams in the SEC, it doesn't make me that angry, because it's Vanderbilt. Everybody's so happy. Everybody's singing Kumbaya about it over down in Nashville and stuff like that. And yeah, you get those mix in with the Tennessee fans. Yeah, but at the same time, there's not a lot of hate. It's just nice Vanderbilt fans.
And I've said multiple times on this show too, like how I would love to see Vandy be successful. Like, just take that extra leap into being a really good program in the SEC.
Just not a good stuff.
Just not get out Alabama.
Look, it was like, and I understand.
It's like you make that wish and that one finger goes down on the monkey's paw.
Yeah. There's so many good people with Vanderbilt that they're more than baseball. I know they make a ton of dumb decisions. I know that they could be, and I've said this on this show even before I was on this show, that Vanderbilt could be so much more if they just had the right backing. Like they absolutely can.
Imagine the basketball team would be so much better.
The basketball team, we already know how good the baseball team is. They're renovating the baseball stadium, and Hawkins is about to have suites and this a beautiful view and all this other stuff that's happening. You've kind of seen, and obviously Alabama fans got to see the way that the stadium is looking now, football wise, and all the renovations that they're having in it. Like my wife didn't even realize the renovations about it, and she's watching the game and she's like, "Look at that! They didn't even have fans in one end zone." And I'm like,
man.
They couldn't. There's orange tape everywhere because they can't.
Let me get the crane seat, please.
Yeah. Can I sit on top of the swinging scoreboard? Is that a seat that we're selling now? And look, in the big scheme of things, Alabama can still play in the college football playoff. They can still win the SEC championship. They can still win a national championship. But I promise you, that win for Vanderbilt did more for the SEC than Alabama beating Vanderbilt. It did, because if we're talking about how great this conference is and all this sort of thing, Vanderbilt has to be good. And I know that people are just saying that, like, rolling their eyes at this, but beating Alabama has done so much to rejuvenate the Vanderbilt program that I promise you, people are looking at this program differently and like going, look, when we got some dogs, we can fight.
Yeah.
When we got some dogs, we can go. And I know that we three have some dogs that we're about to be talking about.
Segue.
Look at that. We got some dogs that we're about to talk about. We want to hear about your dogs as we get into our dogs of the week. 256-576. Not those dogs. This isn't OnlyFans.
97.7.
This is the Morning Blitz.
The state's largest orthopedic group is growing to meet the needs of the patients in our community. The Orthopedic Center has long been the most trusted name in orthopedics in North Alabama. So as our area continues on the fast track, so does the need for premier orthopedic care anywhere and anytime you need it. TOC is proud to announce the opening of our new locations in Albertville and Hampton Cove, along with the grand opening of our newest office in Decatur. These clinics will offer the same high-quality orthopedic care you have come to associate with TOC, with the convenience of being closer to home. As a patient, your time is your most precious asset, and we recognize that at TOC. That's why we are also proud to announce the opening of our urgent ortho clinics to handle those bumps and bruises that need prompt attention. These clinics are available to care for acute orthopedic injuries with no appointment necessary. With 38 physicians, 20 centers of excellence, and now more than a dozen locations to serve you, TOC will continue to be the name you turn to for the best orthopedic care at the right time. Visit our website at visittoc.com for more information. TOC, helping you live a better life.
Rich Eisen here from Monday Night Football on Westwood One. Join us all season long as we get you ready for primetime NFL action every Monday night. Along with Kevin Harlan, Hall of Fame quarterback Kurt Warner, and the entire Westwood One team will take you inside the locker rooms and the stadiums for exclusive previews and all the play-by-play action. Every week on Monday Night Football.
Right here on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Ann Adams with Berkshire Hathaway Rise Real Estate is the one name to know if you're buying or selling real estate. With years of local experience, Ann Adams offers buyers in-depth knowledge of the local housing market and will narrow available properties down to those you'll be interested in so you can save time when shopping for your new home. If you're ready to sell, Ann offers a seamless process using accurate pricing and expert negotiation skills to make sure you get a fair price for your home. Call Ann Adams today at 256-337-2625 or log on bhhsriserealestate.com. Take it to the house this football season with the Alabama Manufactured Housing Association. If Alabama or Auburn returns their first received kickoff in the second half for a touchdown at a home SEC game, one lucky fan will win up to a $75,000 down payment towards the purchase of a manufactured home from an authorized AMHA dealer. Don't miss your chance to take it to the house this season and win a beautiful manufactured home. Register to win today at auburntigers.com/tickettothehouse or rolltide.com/tickettothehouse. Certain terms and conditions may apply. To learn more, visit alamha.org.
77 countries worked in, over 150 projects, 35 years combined experience. This is what the team at Rocket City Federal Solution brings to the table all over the world, headed by CEO Jason Largent. These great Americans handle everything from IT and cybersecurity to operational and maintenance services for critical infrastructure. They also specialize in the management and maintenance of critical systems, ensuring that essential infrastructure operates without interruption. Learn more at RocketCityFederalSolutions.com.
Embark on a flavorful journey at the Brewers Cooperative, located within the vibrant community hub of Stovehouse in Huntsville. Their brewery isn't just about crafting exceptional beers. It's a destination where culinary delights and local brews harmonize. Whether you're seeking a laid-back lunch or a lively dinner with friends, their diverse menu has something to please every palate. And with a commitment to quality and a passion for innovation, they invite you to savor the unique flavor of Huntsville's craft beer scene at the Brewers Cooperative.
Forgiveness. Wow, what a word. What a gift. All of us have done things in our lives that we regret. All of us have done things that are disobedient. All of us have sinned and fallen short of the glory of God. Thank God for his forgiveness. Thank God that he separates our sins as far as the east is from the west and remembers them no more. Hey, I'm John Dees, pastor at Cross Point Church, smack dab across the street from the YMCA in Madison. Check us out at cpcfamily.org.
It's official. 47 years in a row, Ford F-150 is the best-selling truck in America. Come drive one and you'll see why. Hi, Bobby White back again for Woody Anderson Ford, inviting you to kickstart the new year in a brand new F-150. Choose from nearly 200 F-150s, and we think you'll find just the right one. Right now, we have financing as low as 2.9% for up to 72 months on 2023 F-150s, and lease payments as low as $389 a month. That's a 36-month lease with $6,282 due at signing, zero security deposit, just tax tag title, and your good credit. This offer ends January 31st. Call 539-9441 for complete details. At Woody Anderson Ford, we have nearly 50 2023 Explorers for you to choose from, too, with financing as low as 0.9% for up to 60 months. Plus, check out our over 40 24 Bronco Sports and a fresh truckload of the full-size Broncos that have just hit the ground. Come on over and let's get the new year rolling. Woody Anderson Ford, Jordan at Sparkman. Hope to see you soon.
This will turn journalism on its ear.
Watch our stream on WZZN TV on Twitch and YouTube.
But you are the greatest hero in American history.
We are 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Money's the motivation, money's the conversation. You on vacation, we getting paid, so we on vacation. I did it for the fam. It's whatever we had to do, it's just who I am.
It's a banner day on WZZN TV. Make sure that you hop in. You can watch not only on X at 977 ESPN, but also on YouTube as well. As you get those comments in, they're going to be hopping in our chat throughout the remainder of the show. Don't forget that coming up on Friday night, it is a full slate of high school football, especially on 97.7 ESPN The Zone, because on 97.7, you do have Buckhorn versus Southside Gadsden on Zone 2. Matacad is heading to New Hope. I'm just going to say I may have a favorite in that one. Randolph getting to chill. It's okay. Bailey going to be heading down to work for Sanford, do some things with them. You have Zone 4. James Clemens and the number one team in 7A Region 4 is heading to Harvest to take on the Sparkman Senators. Zone 5, Westminster and Madison County. And then on 97.7 HD2, WZZN Talk Radio, Albertville and Huntsville.
Fun.
All those games are going to be kicking off at 7 p.m. So make sure that you download the app, whether it's a WZZN app or if it's a 97.7 app. And all you got to do is find which team you're wanting to watch play, hit that button, and you can sit there and listen to it right on 97.7.
Wish I made that sound effect, though, whenever you tapped on it.
No, because the sound effect it makes is you and I yelling.
They're like,
about how we can't believe that Malachi Foster makes this play that he made against Sparkman.
And also, if you tune in early to the Sparkman broadcast, you'll get a little bit of me and Joe trying to test out all the new things that we got going on.
We did,
it's pretty fun.
Because John walks around the football field. He had a live interview with Coach Ronnie Watson mere seconds before the game was about to kick off.
It was awesome. Like, he was walking out, and I caught him after his team ran out of the tunnel, and then I was just like, Coach, real quick. And then I threw it at him, and he was like, let's get it.
And then John was able to pick up the coin toss as well, as he's sitting there on a knee like he's trying to propose to the referee.
I should have.
And he just had his mic up trying to do that.
Mark Russell.
Yeah. Mark Russell was the white hat for the game between the Senators and Bob Jones. But look, here's that time now where all of the football is over with for the week. The college football is done with week 6. The NFL is done with week 5. You could even throw high school football in there as well. Because, yes, I thought about putting Malachi Foster in there. But We want to hear from you. Who is your dog of the week? And look, I am assuming that somebody, or we can all just have this conversation out loud, is we can already just automatically say that Vanderbilt's quarterback may be the dog of the week. I think that we can all kind of agree on that.
I mean, it's pretty good.
I mean, it's kind of a layup this week.
Just a consensus dog of the week.
Yeah,
I mean, I was thinking Kobe Young, honestly. I mean, he was the lead receiver for that Georgia Bulldogs team this past weekend.
He's also now their newest person getting arrested.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
that sucks.
256-5764.
97.7.
Dogs of the week. Where you tell
I didn't mean to do it right into the mic.
So, yeah, that's why you gotta turn your head when you do it.
One more time, baby. One more time.
Yeah.
Golly, that's so underwhelming.
It is. That's why we go ahead and do it. So all three of us have a dog of the week. You can have yours as well by giving us a call at 256-5764.
97.7.
All right. Baby A, John, where are we going? What's your dogs?
You guys are going with me first?
Absolutely, because look, here's the thing with you two is we don't talk about this beforehand. So I actually do come up with 3 dogs just in case one of you guys get mine as well.
Fine.
So I want to make sure that I have some backups when we're talking about our pack.
You're acting like you're the only one that's got backups, all right?
Look, I do. Right? That's the reason why I let you guys go first.
When it comes down to it, I have some side players as well that I could hop into, but I'm thinking
some side dogs.
Some side dogs.
Yeah.
I'm going to actually go to Syracuse, and I'm not going to go with the guy you think I'm going to go with, Kyle McCord. I'm not going with him. I'm actually going with LaQuint Allen, the running back that has been playing for 3 years for this team, and just last week, in a pretty good game, he was able to put up a pretty big stat line in the form of 2 touchdowns rushing, 71 yards on the ground, 19 attempts, and then on top of that, receiving, he was able to put up 58 yards on 9 receptions. And, 2 more touchdowns in the win against a top 25 ranked UNLV squad and going on to win it. And I'm not just talking about these touchdowns. I'm also talking about the way that he kind of manhandled some of these football players. Let me tell you, guys were coming. He grabbed them by the face, threw them down. He was bouncing off of them, getting into the end zone. And also, of course, he won this game in overtime for the Syracuse Orange. So that's why he is my dog of the week.
All right, Bailey, who's yours? Who you got over here?
I sounded like a scared hound dog, but I'm gonna go.
No hound dog.
Be with us.
Because he's on my fantasy team. Carried me to a victory this year,
okay.
this week, but still had an insane performance. Lamar Jackson. Dropping 41 in fantasy. Was throwing a lot, 26 for 42, but 4 touchdowns, 348 yards. I know Joe Burrow probably had the objectively better game.
He did.
But he didn't win me my week in fantasy. Lamar Jackson did. He's my dog of the week.
I'm going to be honest with you. He would have won Joe's fantasy game if he put him in. Instead, he went with wait. I want to let you say.
Oh no,
who'd you go with?
I went with Fields. I genuinely went with Fields. Here was the thought process. Sunday morning, my thought process was Joe Burrow going up against a Baltimore Ravens defense that has a really good secondary in a division round, in a division matchup. That is those games where you face them so much that you know them so well, where Fields, on the other hand, was facing a Dallas Cowboys team that did not have Micah Parsons and was going to be able to have a little bit more time in the pocket. And if he even had to scramble to get yards, which is what he did against Indianapolis, he was going to pick up a lot of points for me that way. So he had the rushing touchdowns, passing touchdowns as a possibility. That's the reason why I went with that. Joe made a mistake. I'm going to admit. There was a mistake in the Hunk household, and that was it. I absolutely understand that.
Mistake of the season.
It may be if it cost me seeding and or the championship. You're right. It's really it.
You're not so far. If the playoffs started today,
yes, because I have every single player injured.
Yeah,
every one of my good players are injured.
Oh, okay, you're talking. I got both Cooper Kupp and also Nick Chubb on the bench. And Evan Ingram hasn't even played for my team yet.
But mine is guys that not only are they injured, these are like life-altering injuries here, okay?
Oh, yes,
like Christian McCaffrey has like all these problems in his ankles now.
What did you expect? A-Chain? That stinks. Rushy Rice? That stinks.
Concussions.
At the same time, though, I've had to just wait. I've had to sit down and just wait as my team was just getting dragged through the trenches.
I have not, TJ Hawkinson has not played for me yet.
You're not alone, Joe.
He has not been there. AJ Brown is still out. He hasn't played probably since week 1.
Yep.
And what's really bad,
Joe Mixon and Jonathan Taylor. I mean, my running backs are in shambles.
What's really bad is I was dreading week 6 when we made our draft because I had so many of my starters at the time on bye weeks this week.
Which one was
now it's none of them. All I've got's Butker. That's it. I can find me another kicker that can at least get me 10 points.
Yep.
Like I can do that. All my other starters that were injured that are now on bye weeks, I haven't been playing them anyway.
Look,
so it doesn't really matter.
I'll give you this much. Summer was actually worried that Butker was going to kick worth 50 points and end up winning that game.
Probably could have.
He probably could.
He probably could have. Okay,
close.
so I don't now that we know and that you guys have given your dogs, I'm going to give you my dog of the week as well. I did have Malachi Foster on here from Bob Jones after the fumble recovery touchdown because I'm telling you, when we post this video of this was an amazing play, and it seriously a game that Spartman had in hand. Bob Jones, this was one of the plays that totally changed this game around. So that was one of them. But my number one is one that I don't think that I was kind of surprised that neither one of you guys mentioned, is Miami quarterback Cam Ward. 437 passing yards, 3 total touchdowns. But here's the reason why he was a dog. Those 3 touchdowns all happened in the fourth quarter while Miami was down by 20 points. And all 3 of those are what helped Miami come back and win, including a 24-yard scramble. Dude was a dog in the fourth quarter in Cal when it was like 2 a.m. in Miami.
Yeah,
he was a dog.
I can't deny
it.
that
It's
either.
tough watching that Miami team, though.
It's really tough.
It is tough watching.
And they just keep moving up in the polls. And
They
I'm
keep
just
winning.
thinking to themselves, this has got
They
to
somehow keep winning.
They had a
Fake
dog
his
on the
team.
sidelines, like Michael Irvin was on all 4s.
Oh my God.
Like he was ready to pounce,
That's
man.
not a good look. That's not a good look for Michael. I'll
Yeah,
say
I mean
that.
it's a football game, not a Diddy party.
Oh,
it was different. Okay, he was ready to go. Dog. Okay.
California was ready to go in the first half, and then they kind of just.
All right, now when we come back on the Morning Blitz, Ross Dellinger was the one that announced the SEC and the Big Ten meeting in Nashville.
Are they finally meeting?
I think they're meeting this week. He is also now announcing something called Project Rudy. I'll explain when we come back on the Morning Blitz.
Eagle Masonry and Insulation. It's right there in the name. Eagle is your one-stop shop for block, stone, or brickwork, monument signs, and outdoor kitchens and fireplaces. Eagle also offers the finest craftsmanship and insulation, including fiberglass or spray foam insulation, and of course, insulation removal. Philip Love and his team have years of experience, bringing the region the best in masonry and insulation services. For more information and a quote, visit insulatewitheagle.com or call 256-755-1556. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
At Mr. Sparky, we're America's on-time electrician. Flickering lights and hot switches can be annoying, but they can also signal a major problem, or worse, an electrical emergency. So play it safe and leave it to the experts at Mr. Sparky. Trust our team of professional, clean, and friendly electricians. We'll get it done right and get it done safely.
You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call 888-8-SPARKY.
Independently owned and operated, licensed in the respective state or county.
Ann Adams with Berkshire Hathaway Rise Real Estate is the one name to know if you're buying or selling real estate. With years of local experience, Ann Adams offers buyers in-depth knowledge of the local housing market and will narrow available properties down to those you'll be interested in so you can save time when shopping for your new home. If you're ready to sell, Ann offers a seamless process using accurate pricing and expert negotiation skills to make sure you get a fair price for your home. Call Ann Adams today at 256-337-2625 or log on bhhsriserealestate.com.
Electric cars are coming faster than you think, and that's why we're bringing SEMA Connect to Alabama.
Our team educates you and helps provide a long-term plan for your business. Where to put them, how to get them there, how to pay for them, tax incentives, service, and monitoring. We take care of everything.
Doing the right thing means bringing EV car chargers to Alabama. Let us help you with your EV charging plan.
Hey Huntsville, looking for action-packed events? The Huntsville Sports Commission is your hub for all things sports. From youth events to national tournaments, we've got events that thrill and inspire. Whether you're an athlete, a fan, or a volunteer, there's something for everyone. Cheer on your favorite teams, witness amazing talent, and be a part of the excitement. Check out our event calendar and get involved at huntsvillesports.com. That's huntsvillesports.com. Be there, Huntsville.
AL cert number 21014.
As the calendar turns to Halloween, make sure you get more treats than tricks. Thomas from Talent Heating and Air is with us. Don't let those ghosts and goblins get you on Halloween.
Yeah, we're not too worried about the ghosts and goblins this Halloween. We'll come out, we'll do a free second opinion like we always do. We're offering $49 tune-ups to make sure that you're ready for the fall and the coming winter. And then we're also offering free heat exchanger checks. We'll come out, we'll check your heat exchanger, make sure you don't have any leaks and don't have to worry about carbon monoxide getting in your house.
And Talent Heating and Air won't ghost you on this Halloween.
If you call us, we'll definitely get to you right then, or we'll get right back with you. We pride ourselves in same day service as much as possible.
Let the people know how to get you.
That's 256-503-4490, or if you want to hit us up on our website, that's talenthvac.com.
The Talent Heating and Air give you plenty of treats this Halloween.
Wrapping up the morning Blitz on this Tuesday. As Robert Saleh has been fired during the show, we have talked to Jim Wyatt about not only Vanderbilt's win and him storming the field at 50-plus years old.
I love that.
Which was awesome. Standing on trash cans, just trying to get down on the field. We also gave you our Dogs of the Week just a few moments ago. And don't forget, Tom Abraham's getting going in a little over an hour as well, not just for 97.7, but ESPN Winchester. But Project Rudy. Would either of you like to take a guess at what Project Rudy is? This is an article from Ross Dellinger that he is just now putting out just a few moments ago.
I'm going to say this. I think it is a way to get kids that don't normally have opportunities to get scholarships on programs,
so they can be offsides.
So they can be. Yeah, I mean, I guess so.
He
Yeah.
was offsides.
He was
offsides. All right. What is your guess on Project Rudy?
I was thinking the same thing, like either scholarships or something maybe to do with walk-ons.
See, that's why I said it before you, because I knew he was going to say the exact same thing. I was like, I got to be the one that says it first.
So
You always gotta one up me, Captain Cool.
So before everything happens, just know that that the Big Ten and the SEC will meet tomorrow and Thursday in Nashville. Just letting you know, because this is something that we were just talking about, and you guys were wanting to know about this. Now, what Project Rudy is? Project Rudy is apparently is being spearheaded by former Disney executives.
Oh, that's not a good sign.
As well as a venture capital firm known as Smash Capital that would incorporate 70 different college football programs and their power conferences into one league. And infusing so could potentially be worth up to $9 billion.
So I'm trying to figure out what the connection is to Rudy, like why they named it Rudy.
Yeah.
Well, and so now, so the question is like, okay, so what is Project Rudy? Okay, so what Project Rudy is this things which has been in corporation with Walt Disney as far as these ex-Walt Disney executives. You also have the former person that was just on the college football playoff committee involved in this as well. And apparently there have already been 25 different Power 4 universities that has seen this presentation that Yahoo was able to look at just a little while ago before they put out this article. Project Rudy is going to have 70 different programs in 3 different tiers, which would mean that from a financial standpoint, which is where this would be interesting, the top 16 schools would receive somewhere around $130 million in year 4.
Wow. Oh my God.
$250 million in year 12, which is just way past this. The idea behind it, which is where the important thing comes, is that they would like to arrange this where the group of 4 would only be playing each other, and it would eliminate all games between Group of 5 and FCS opponents. They want to expand the playoffs, putting more Power 5s against each other, and they want one television agreement instead of the 5 that they currently have between all the Power 4s.
I hate this already.
This is like a monopoly.
That's exactly what it is.
This is the NFL. This is the NFL.
Yeah.
This is the Group of 4, and they're only.
Jeez.
But apparently there are already 25 to 26 different universities that have already seen this in person.
I don't know what's happening to college football.
I
I
hate
don't know
it.
if I like it, Grandpa.
We're about to have a new league. It's going to happen.
Eagle Masonry and Installation. It's right there in the name. Eagle is your one-stop shop for block, stone, or brickwork, monument signs, and outdoor kitchens and fireplaces. Eagle also offers the finest craftsmanship and insulation, including fiberglass or spray foam insulation, and of course, insulation